Hello friend, today I'm going to share a game changer technology.
And I'm going to share my nearly favorite film from Sundance, Fire of Love. Let's get to it.
My cool sheet is a technology, and this is two-dimensional polymers. Strong as steel, light as plastic. I don't know if that's going to be their tagline, but it should be. So I want to give a little background on polymers to let you know why this is so special and why I chose it as a cool sheet. Polymers, they make up things that are in everyday life everywhere. What a polymer is that it's a long string of individual molecules, kind of like beads on a necklace that are all strung together. If you think of the beads as being the molecules strung together to make the polymer. The most abundant polymer in nature is cellulose. These are strings of glucose sugar that make up things like the trunk of a tree. Nylon, there's another example. This was a paradigm shifter in the 1930s where it hit upon fashion, where then nylon stockings could be used, but also for parachutes, backpacks, and all these really strong things that were made of that polymer. Since then, there have been a multitude of different polymers have been invented. Kevlar, former cool sheet, and was just mentioned in this episode by Brian in that movie that he talked about. Many things, many of these polymers are super strong. However, two things have not ever been imagined for polymers. And one of them is this idea of it being strong, and I mean strong like as steel. Why not? Okay, so let's compare if you had a bunch of twine and you laid it out on the floor and you kind of messed it up a bit on the floor and it would get tangled. But would you trust that to then make this tangled mess and use it as a hammock and lay on it? No, you wouldn't, because you'd probably fall right through. In contrast, if you were to take that same twine but then weave it together in 2 dimensions, then you would get that hammock that you would lay in confidence, right? So this is what these researchers have developed. This 2-dimensional polymer where the molecules are cross-linked, not just in one long chain like a rope, but instead they're overlapped in every direction like a 2-dimensional sheet. It is amazing. Gases can't pass through it, which is unlike most of these polymers that we use. And it is strong as steel and light as plastic. This will be a game changer in technology, 2-dimensional polymers.
Wow, I am like blown away right now.
Yeah.
So when did this kind of start happening?
Okay, so, how many years? So this research group is at MIT.
Okay.
They've been working on it for a while, but it just came out in the news on February 2nd.
Oh, wow.
And this was alerted to me by David Duncan, so thank you, David Duncan, for that.
Dang.
And I started looking into it and the background science. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, this just sounds crazy.
Yes. So this is, so some ideas. It could go on cars and on boats because this thing, it's really hard, and because gases can't go through it means water can't go through it either.
That really blew me away.
Yeah.
The last part.
Yep, exactly. And you could build structures out of it. You could 3D print a building.
Oh
I mean, yes, just mind-blowing. I'm sure there's many more things you could do that I can't even think of. But
holy moly. Well, thanks so much.
Yes.
That's going to be really exciting to see. I hope it's not like that movie where they thought they had this incredible substance and then it all of a sudden, oh, whoops, never mind, it actually doesn't hold up. Because that's what it was strong to start, but it would just weaken over time. And I forget what substance it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't Kevlar because that's what they used before that and now still to this day. And in fact, it was weaved with Kevlar.
Oh,
but
interesting.
But it made it a lot thinner and lighter and more flexible, but it also broke down over time. So
yeah.
hopefully it's not like that. Certainly I don't know anything about it, so it doesn't sound like it is.
Well, I don't think so. And one of the articles,
sounds like they've done a lot of research.
Yes,
so,
and one of the articles I read was another researcher from another institution was talking about it. So it wasn't just them touting their own work. It was another expert in the field saying, "Oh yeah, this is a game changer."
Yeah, well, and that was the thing about this, why that mistake was made, is they were trying to rush it out for production to gain the lead back in that industry, and that's where things went wrong because they took shortcuts. They didn't do all the studying and the things that they should have.
Yeah.
So and that's when lives are at stake. That's the craziest.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Well, this sounds cool. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I'm going to be talking about another movie, and this is my second favorite movie, and it could be really close to my first. It was neck and neck with these last two, and this is called Fire of Love. It was directed by Sarah Dosa, and it's another documentary about scientists and lovers, Katina and Maurice Kraft, who died in a volcanic explosion during the very thing that brought them together. They were unraveling the mysteries of volcanoes by capturing the most explosive, literally the most explosive imagery ever recorded. So these two French volcanologists, I think is how you say it, people that study volcanoes, were rock stars in their field. So they started out really young. They kind of went against the older guard of scientists. They would say, they don't know what they're talking about. We've done all this really new research, and this is back, in the 60s. So they're older now, or they were. But when they were up-and-comers, they were really kind of looking at these new ideas and new studies and going to these volcanoes and learning tons of new things. And it seemed like they were taking these insane risks to learn more, but to them, they had a very sound method. They explained that there are two types of volcanoes, and I didn't even know this. They're the red ones that are predictable and safe-ish, and then there are the gray ones, and those are the killers because they're explosive. There's these gases, you don't know where they're going to go. The red ones is what we think about when we see like lava flowing, and it just doesn't explode. I thought those were actually kind of two of the same thing. Like first it exploded and then it poured this red lava. It's actually, they're kind of different. That's why you see more ash and things in the gray ones. So already I was learning tons, but this fascinating about these people, the footage they have is insane. Hundreds and hundreds of hours of them with super close. I mean, they got so close because they knew and they were comfortable with these red volcanoes that it looked like it was right on top of them and just like falling next to them. It was wild. They're so charismatic and charming. It is crazy. And then after Mount St. Helens, which is actually right next to us up in Washington, their friend died studying that one. They decided they wanted to start studying gray volcanoes more. And then this is how it reminded me of Grizzly Man, because we knew from the beginning that they would die studying a different gray volcano. And sure enough, I don't know if they show the exact footage. They show footage of kind of when it happened when it happened. It was another movie that will stick in my mind forever. Definitely worth seeing. Fire of Love.
So does it make you cry at the end?
I don't know. I'm not a big crier anyway, and I was by myself.
They're gonna die.
Yeah, you knew, but it was. I definitely felt a ton of emotions.
Yeah.
Throughout the entire film. Yeah. Laughing, just charmed by them. Like I said, they're so funny, and they're they have this witty banter with each other. But you kind of know it's coming.
Yeah.
But when you see the footage, they show the volcano explode, and and then that that was it. That was where they died. Either maybe not that exact moment, but that volcano. They showed the devastation of that volcano, because they're just unpredictable. They thought, at the max, this could blow 200 feet in the air, and it blew 600. Or whatever. Yes. It is so dramatically hard to predict. And they were making a lot of progress and a lot of good research on these volcanoes, but
you don't always know.
Yeah.
It's like a grizzly bear. It's like I was gonna say, it's like an animal.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
It's a wild nature is not to be messed with.
Yes. Well, thank you.
But it is fascinating. The imagery is so beautiful and emotional. And to know that they've done this work and throughout the whole film, the guy's like, you know what? I'd rather have a short and adventurous life than a long, boring one. So he's like, this is the way I want to, before, he always said, this is the way I want to go about.
Yeah. Wow.
And he did. So I don't know. Careful what you ask for, I guess, or maybe it was perfect for him. I don't know. It's wild, but it was so. This movie I think it did win an award. It will certainly be coming out at some point, and I definitely recommend it.
Cool. Yeah, it sounds amazing. Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You can find all of our show notes at 10bestestscott.com/exactly. Thank you for joining us, friend. I'm Karen McFarland Holman.
And I'm Brian Hart.
Let us know in the comments, what's your favorite new technology?
And let us know what's the most dangerous thing you've ever done.
If you're enjoying this show, please give us a like and share it with a friend.
Stay tuned tomorrow for another great show.
And don't forget to stay curious.